Chol Jin Kim. 2 months ago, in a post on r/internet mysteries, a user named Current Convulsive wrote about a mysterious individual who left a strange note on the front door of a restaurant. Attached is an image of the note, reading, quote, God/gods and or anyone else who can help me, e.g. time travelers or members of super intelligent alien civilization, the next time I wake up, please, change my physical form to that of Finn McMillan, formerly of South New Brighton at 8 years old, and keep it that way forever. I'm so sick of this chubby, balding Asian man body. Thank you. Chol Jin Kim, aka A Desperate Soul. This strange post is only the beginning of the rabbit hole, as by delving into the comments you can find another post from 2020 on r/internet mysteries about the same individual leaving cryptic and bizarre messages. The OP references the same copy and pasted message he saw on an r/change my view post, which led them down a rabbit hole of looking into this person and their bizarre history of posting throughout the internet. A website at some point existed called choljin.com, although at this point the page no longer functions. There are also plenty of Reddit posts allegedly from this guy, Chol Jin Kim. Although his account has since been deleted, some of the posts still survive, such as this one found in r/no-stupid-questions. It reads, quote, a request for transferal of omnipotence, or the prayer to end all prayers, by CJ Kim. Dear God, I did not think it would have to come to this. I have been praying to you since the early 2010s, and yet nothing has happened. A handful of people have won the Powerball lottery, but much to my chagrin, I was not one of these. Nobody, at least to my knowledge, has become 8-year-old Finn McMillan, and nobody, again at least to my knowledge, has been transported back to December 2009. In other words, you have ignored every one of my prayers. He goes on to express his irritation and anger with God, citing an incident in December of 2019 on White Island where a volcano erupted and left 21 people dead. He further states, quote, Deism is the belief that God created the universe, but does not actively interfere with it. I do not profess a belief in deism, yet. However, your actions, or lack thereof, over the past few years is starting to make arguments look rather attractive right now. My understanding of the Bible is that you chose to actively interfere with the lives of the ancient Semitic and Hamitic peoples who lived in centuries past, so why have you changed your mind now? If you're reading this God, and if you are omnipotent, omnipresent, and omniscient, then I assume you are, then here is my offer to you. If you no longer desire to preside over your creations and wish to pass on the responsibility of omnipotence to someone else, then let me be the first to step up to this role. Hand over to me thy torch of omnipotence, and I shall take care of thy creations. Give me providence over every creature that creepeth upon the earth, over the fowl that flieth in the heavens, of beasts which cometh in kinds most splendid and wondrous, and of course over that of man, and I will wipe the tears from his eyes, and tend to his wounds, and above all, I will ensure that his prayers will no longer go unanswered. Thank you, Chol Jin Kim. It's clear this person is, or at least was, pretty devoutly religious, and despite the writing coming off as quite verbose and sort of chaotic, it's clear he at least has some understanding of what he's saying, although he's very clearly stuck in a series of delusions, as you'll soon see. At the beginning of the post, he again references the fact that he wants to be reborn again as an 8-year-old, specifically in the body of a boy named Finn McMillan. Unfortunately, this isn't an uncommon obsession among mentally ill people on the internet, but usually it's tied to celebrities or famous people that they have some sort of parasocial relationship with. However, this doesn't seem to be the case, as searching for Finn McMillan online doesn't turn up much results because he's not an actor or a famous artist. An article from 2011 does describe the child in question, a then 8-year-old boy named Finn McMillan from New Zealand who caught an earthquake on camera. This is not a very well-known or publicized event though, and the article only comes with one picture of the boy. However, another image of the boy can be found on a website called orangesocks.com, an organization dedicated to helping families with children with disabilities, and throughout the site you will find many inspiring stories and real kids and their families, but also among them is the story of Chal Jin, dated December 23rd, 2023. Included is a picture of Finn McMillan, and the same message he's been spamming throughout the internet for years. And this is far from where it ends. On r/New Zealand, another post shows someone receiving in their mailbox a letter with the same message from Chal Jin Kim. Someone else in the comments even confirms they received it as well. It's pretty clear at this point, Kim is way too dedicated to just be a troll. But where it really gets weird, if it wasn't strange enough already, is on the Bitcoin forum website called bitcointalk.org, where a giveaway was being hosted for winnings of up to $3.2 million for inactive accounts. The post reads, quote, "Every Wednesday and Saturday I will purchase a ticket in the Powerball draw. If I win the top prize in the Powerball draw, 10% of the winnings will be allocated to accounts displaying the signature. The Powerball prize begins at $2.6 million and can jackpot all the way up to $32 million. So if you're the only person with the signature, then you could make up to $3.2 million for doing absolutely nothing. If there are 2 accounts with the signature and one of them is yours, then you could make up to $1.6 million, and so on." It's a very weird post considering the odds of winning the Powerball grand prize are next to nothing. The code just beneath this, though, is where it gets really weird. Quote, "Dear God/gods and/or members of super intelligent alien civilizations, please let Chal Jin Kim win the New Zealand Powerball jackpot. He will use the money to set up his own research lab and find the cures for cancer and aging. He will release the cures into the public domain, a la Jonas Salk. Everyone regardless of wealth will no longer need to suffer. Childhood cancer will also be history. Thank you, a faithful believer. P.S. If anyone is reading this, then please pray with me." There's also the fact that this was posted by a user named Mount Gox, curiously also the name of a Japanese Bitcoin exchange which filed for bankruptcy in 2014. The message again shows how clearly mentally ill this person truly is, but it's also hard not to feel bad for them as well. This one doesn't even mention the kid and rather focuses on him winning the Powerball in order to fund cancer research, again also reaffirming their connection to New Zealand. There are countless other forum and blog posts you can find by just searching up this message online. It's all over the internet, so I'm sure there's many more instances even I didn't come across. One of the more interesting discoveries made in one of the Reddit posts, though, is a link to an article of a man confetti bombing toilets at Otago University located in Dunedin, New Zealand. The article was written in 2013, and the then 21-year-old Chal Jin Stephen Kim admitted to the crime. Could this be the same guy? Crazy enough, it seems that this person actually responded to this Reddit post and left a very long comment, saying, quote, "I am not a troll. I find it sad to think that people think I am a troll. I've been banned from numerous communities in the past, all under the mistaken assumption that I'm some sort of bizarre troll trying to stir up trouble, but I am not such a person. You see, I had dreams of becoming a biochemist. I wanted to work on curing cancer and aging. I wanted to be the guy in the white lab coat holding a pipette in his hand while loading buffer solutions into the gel electrophoresis tanks. I wanted to wake up every morning knowing that each day spent at the lab would be one more step towards freeing man from the confines of his biology, but in 2013, my dreams were cruelly snatched away from me by the University of Otago administration. So I moved on to Plan B, which was to win the Powerball jackpot with the help of God, so that I can become a gentleman scientist and build my own lab and thus pursue my dreams outside of, but in parallel with, the traditional academic system. I had earlier bought my first lottery ticket in June 2011 when the jackpot was a must-be-won $35 million, which ended up being a dud, but now that I had been kicked out of college, my efforts went into overdrive. I was buying lotto tickets left, right, and center, yet fast forward to 2021, and every ticket for the past 10 years has resulted in a dud. I also prayed to God to be sent back to 2009 so that I can purchase Bitcoin at a few cents each, or mine my own, and in effect, get the same result as a lottery win. But every time I woke up, I would find myself in the then-present year. In other words, despite all of my efforts, there has been no response from God. So I decided I had enough and crafted my request for transferal of omnipotence, which is an offer that still remains open to this day. God, if you are reading this, then please reconsider it. I believe that God is doing a terrible job at being God, and I would like to step up to the role of becoming God. Unlike the modern God, I would not be an absentee God. Instead, I would be proactive in ensuring the happiness and healthiness of mankind and all the creatures of the world. Given that rates of religiosity are declining throughout the Western world, and more people are turning towards atheism, it's obvious that God's current approach is not working. In fact, God had the chance to create a renaissance of Christendom that was practically given to him on a silver platter by simply waking Olive Elaine Haley Genthal in late 2019, but he fucked that one up too, just like the way he fucked up all of my prayers. Currently, I'm working on attempts to communicate with God via electromagnetic means. According to Eric von Daniken, God isn't actually God, but instead an extraterrestrial with godlike powers. Cue Arthur C. Clarke's quote about a sufficiently advanced technology being indistinguishable from magic, while von Daniken posits rather stable extraterrestrial civilizations technology-wise. I believe that post-singularitarian alien civilizations have access to time travel, and thus nearly unlimited computing power, and as a result live in a state where technological progress is measured in literal picoseconds. However, our universe is set up in a way that, according to Einstein's theory of relativity, both having mass and velocity result in a sort of minuscule time dilation effect, which would put any rebellious components of these super-intelligent alien civilizations that attempted to make their presence known in our universe at a significant competitive disadvantage. This is also my personal explanation for the Fermi paradox. Thus, my hope is that any post-singularian God has not fallen into this trap, and he is somewhere out there listening to us. Because of this, I am researching Stephen M. Greer's CE5 protocols, which might be helpful for communicating with such a God. There are also philosophers like Carl Sagan and Terry Davis who have proposed the mind of God might be ascertained by exploring the nature of entropy, such as the kind found in the digits of pi, or from random number generators. Finally, there is also the simulation hypothesis to consider. The idea is pretty straightforward. Basically, if you're playing a game of The Sims and one of your Sims is constantly bugging you with messages about something that they want done, then there's a chance that you might eventually relent and respond. Even if you normally follow a pretty neglectful style of gameplay, eventually one of those messages could be the straw that breaks the camel's back. Likewise, eventually one of my prayers could be the straw that breaks God's back. By proliferating these prayers into our cosmos, I hope to become that Sim that changed God's mind. So anyway, I hope this explanation is enough to solve this mystery and show that I'm not a troll. I can understand why bumping into one of my prayers without the context behind it might give the impression that I'm trolling though, so apologies for that. After reading that extremely elaborate response, the guy is clearly insane yet still sort of articulate, as you can see, and I'm not sure if I should feel bad for this guy being stuck in an endless cycle of delusions, or if this guy has been trolling people like this for a decade and kept up the act all this time. Either way though, this guy is clearly mentally unwell, no matter which way you slice it. Interestingly enough though, even the kid in question, who has since grown up, saw the Reddit post deep diving into this mystery and said, quote, "Lamau, this is a post about me at 8 years old. No way, Omega lol. Trust me homie, you don't want to be me." Now of course I'm not sure if this is actually him, but either way this whole story is an absolutely insane rabbit hole that is nowhere near fully investigated, so if you're looking for an internet mystery to sink your teeth into for hours, then I guess look no further. Cooper family photo. The Cooper family photo is one of the most infamous cursed images on the internet, said to have been taken in the 50s of a normal Texas family, only for the picture to be developed and reveal a disturbing secret, what looks to be a ghost or a falling body in the background, taking up a decent amount of the frame. None of the other family photos contained this figure, only this one peculiar image, with seemingly no explanation as to its existence. Hence why it became popular as a creepy and cursed image on the internet. The most popular theory behind it was that it was an example of double exposure, a phenomenon that can occur when developing photographs, layering two images on top of one another to combine them into a single image. This could happen by accident during development, or sometimes even happen because of the camera, or could be done manually when using darkrooms to process the pictures. Darkrooms were the standard practice for developing photographic film, a literal dark room with very little light, where the photos were processed using chemical baths and a device known as an enlarger to produce the prints. Obviously, there was no Photoshop or way to digitally alter the photos, so they could only be changed using this technique or something similar. If you flip the picture around, it makes the figure look less like a falling corpse and more like a dancer possibly striking a pose. This Reddit post containing the image also links to a video created by channel Jeffiet in May of 2025, which deep dives into the mystery behind this photograph and solves the entire thing. And the story is pretty crazy, so if you're interested in the whole saga, I definitely recommend it. It's a great video. But basically, one of the children in this photograph and a member of the family, Richard Ramsdell, or Cooper, is actually the one responsible for this and is still alive today, even giving an interview where he provides proof of the original image. He created it as part of a series of pictures in 1981 and even hosted them on his own website in the early 2000s, right there for anyone to see. And yet this story for a long time still went unheard. In the same interview, he described how he made the photo in question. He took the family photograph on a slide and projected it onto a screen, and set up a camera on a timer, flipped the image upside down and stood in front of it while the camera took a picture, meaning this person is also Richard. So yeah, case closed on this one, but still a pretty interesting internet mystery for sure. Grog Martin. This case doesn't exactly have a neat answer at the end. In yet another internet mystery subreddit post, we have the title, "Weird YouTube channel I found looking at another subreddit earlier today." The channel in question is called Grog Martin. It has no description and was created in January of 2013, with over 3,000 videos amassed and a little over 56,000 views total as of making this video. The channel uploads are seemingly nonsensical and completely random, with the latest upload being from a month ago, posted June 22nd, 2025, titled, "Quantum Circle Jumping is Real, War Toy Captain Slam Punk Said So." The video itself just consists of pretty normal backgrounds of nature, accompanied by strange and pretty creepy background music. Despite most of the titles and videos themselves being indecipherable, the thumbnails are quite creepy in a lot of the uploads, depicting strange masks, puppets, and what looks to be child drawings, or this weird map depicting a mountain of death, as well as other surrounding landmarks. Click on any random video and most will consist of the same nature shots, accompanied by eerie background music and cryptic imagery. The usual when it comes to YouTube ARGs, but if this is indeed some sort of art project or something, I'm finding it difficult to understand or follow, given the sheer amount of uploads and just how obscure and weird this channel is. The most popular upload on the channel is one of its most unnerving in my opinion, depicting someone moving around these strange masks, as well as a guitar, while the creepy music starts to build in the background. If anyone has any explanation behind this channel, I would love to hear it. And if you want to be unnerved at night, just click on any random video. It's mostly the music, to be honest, but something about these videos is just really unsettling. Jackson Gillette. Another r/internet mysteries post here, titled, "Something Creepy I Rediscovered on YouTube After Being Haunted by It for 8 Years." They describe a channel called Jackson Gillette, and a specific video called "I Want Dat Meatball." Quote, "The beginning of the video is of a clip which I presume is of a cartoon which was a meme around the time the video was posted, 2012, of a cat trying to steal a meatball from a smaller cat. After this sequence, a man holding some paper up to his face with the larger cat drawn on, eating a meatball through it and repeating the dialogue in the cartoon, 'I want that meatball.' The last clip is of a naked man in a pig mask covering his crown jewels in the fetal position with children's laughter in the background. In the description, the poster states he isn't any of the people in the video, has a link to some defunct SciTube account The rest of his content is some old movie/series that I don't recognize. According to the comments, it's been posted on r/cursed videos before, and they claim it's a fetish video, but I wanted to see if anyone has any other ideas, or worryingly can identify the clips. Unlike most creepy YouTube channels, this channel only has a couple of videos, 4 in total actually. The first 3 are simply TV show or movie clips, while the video in question is the final upload, dated March 29, 2012. The video, as described in the post, shows a cartoon clip of a cat trying to take a meatball from a smaller cat, before abruptly cutting to a man wearing a cat mask drawn onto paper towels or toilet paper or something that covers his face as he eats a meatball, before again cutting to footage of a naked man in a pig mask, accompanied by the laughter of children as he crawls around. I really have no explanation for this video at all. I'm not even sure what the cartoon was at the beginning. Let me know if you know anything else about these clips seen in this video, or what they might mean. Soda black and white color commercial. On r/Lost Media, we have a post titled, "Fully Lost, 1967 to 1968, Squirt Soda commercial that supposedly displayed color on black and white TVs." The post goes on to describe this lost commercial and links to another forum post mentioning it. Quote, "One day a Sprite commercial," he means Squirt, but it's rather easy to mix up green sodas, came on and the voiceover said something to the effect of, "Sprite is so bursting with flavor that you're probably seeing color on your black and white TV." I remember scrambling over to the TV and sure enough, there was a static image of a Sprite bottle, and it was kind of in color. They also link an attached image of what the soda actually looked like, and again quotes from the forum post, which itself references a newspaper article about the commercial and how it managed to display color on black and white TVs. Quote, "The burst of color was not living color, as NBC frequently touted in the 1960s, but something called subjective color. The process was developed by James F. Butterfield of ColorTel, a corporation founded in Los Angeles in early 1966. It gave the illusion of color by pulsating white light in a particular sequence for each color with a rotating device attached to a regular black and white TV camera lens. Butterfield had found in his many years of research that the human brain perceives colors through complex electronic codes. Butterfield was able to figure out the individual codes for the colors red, green, and blue, and by pulsating white light in predetermined patterns with the device on the camera lens, could induce the brain of the television viewer to perceive color. Beyond that, ordinary monochrome equipment could be used in filming or taping, broadcasting, and viewing. There were a few drawbacks. The images were nothing at all like true color TV. It didn't have the intensity or range of colors. As the technology currently stood, the effect could only be used on still images. The subjective color could only be seen in about 1/4 of the TV screen area, and because it relied on flickering light, there was a lot of flickering. It was also found that some people could not perceive the colors at all, yet some people diagnosed as colorblind could actually see the colors. Nonetheless, Popular Science in its August 1968 issue saw many possibilities for the technology, particularly for special effects. Color will appear in cartoons, commercials, and special presentations. Polka dots on a clown suit will be seen as flashing red dots. You'll see the designs and lettering on a cereal box in pulsating green and blue. A girl will plant a kiss on a boy's cheek, and a red lipstick print will appear on your screen. Whatever the case may be, in terms of how they were able to actually achieve the effect, it seems the commercial today is completely lost. Some did point out that maybe it couldn't have been archived with the effect intact because of the way the process was described in the article, but that doesn't appear to be the case entirely, as this did actually happen in a 1968 broadcast from the BBC, which managed to show color on black and white TVs, but this could also have been done in a different manner. Definitely still an interesting lost media mystery, for sure. Blue Whale Challenge. Our final topic may be the darkest one on this list. I'm sure many of you remember hearing about this many years ago. I remember kids in high school bringing this up and watching old scare theater videos about this phenomenon, but what really was it? This post also seeks to ask that question. Quote, "Does anyone have any no bullshit info about the Blue Whale Challenge in the mid-2000s? I got a reminder about it today and I'm kinda interested. Well, it's a simple question really, I just want to understand more about it, although it's hardly seen as so many people just chat shit about an urban legend like this, but I'm interested to see what some people know about it. When I first heard about it, I was really young and it was more of a, oh, I heard this story, and what I remember was that it was like a 30-day game and every day you would get a challenge slowly getting worse. I was told that on the last day you had to cut yourself in the shape of a blue whale, and that cutting yourself in the shape of a whale just kills you in like 10 minutes. I was also informed that the people running it would take pictures of you and your family and threaten you, etc. It's quite weird looking back on it because I was scared shitless when I heard this, as I was pretty young. Sort of the same situation for me, although I never heard about this, like, cutting a whale into yourself thing. But I do remember, I think back in 2016, hearing about this when it became a popular topic on social media, an alleged game that was being played all around the world on different social media platforms where people would be subjected to tasks that slowly got more and more disturbing over time, involving more self-harm, until eventually ending in suicide over a 50-day period. It even received mainstream news coverage due to so many people talking about it, with a Russian newspaper even linking the game to actual deaths and suicides of children, reporting over 130 deaths linked to the game, causing sort of a mass public uproar, similar to the Momo phenomenon around the same time. Despite being such a serious topic, it seems it originally started as a hoax, another large-scale moral panic, but became somewhat of a self-fulfilling prophecy, getting so much coverage and internet infamy that it did actually lead to real cases of self-harm and suicides all over the world, although it's hard to verifiably link all of them. Multiple arrests were also made in Russia of men creating these so-called blue whale groups online, even one guy who claimed to have created the game back in 2016 by the name of Philip Budakin. It's hard to really know the true extent of the damage caused by this game, as there are a lot of articles with misinformation on the topic, and again it's hard to directly link victims to this game, regardless of if it started as a sensational hoax or not. With a lot of widespread intentional reporting, some of dubious veracity, it's hard to discern fact from fiction, and even Snopes lists the Blue Whale suicide game under unproven. Either way, it's definitely an interesting internet rabbit hole in its own regard.